Good day and welcome to another episode of What's Happening Today, presented to you by Rapido News Network. In our first story, we will discuss Senate Minority Leader Mr. McConnell's demand to pass the SCOTUS security bill hours after Justice Kavanaugh was threatened. Next, we will talk about a gun control bill that was passed in the House but is all set to be doomed in the Senate. Post that, we will discuss the questioning of former President Donald Trump under oath by the New York Attorney General. And in our final story, we will talk about the Russian Ukrainian conflict. So let's get started. In our first story, Senate Republican leader Mr. Mitch McConnell called on US House to immediately pass a bill that would bolster security for Supreme Court justices and their families after the arrest of a man who authorities say was plotting to assassinate Justice Brett Kavanaugh. House Democrats must pass this bill and they need to do it today. No more fiddling around with this. They need to pass it today, Mr. McConnell said on Wednesday. Pass it before the sun sets. This comes after an armed man in his 20s was found near Justice Kavanaugh's home in Chevy Chase in Maryland and was taken into custody early on Wednesday morning. The Washington Post reported that he told police that he was angry about a draft opinion set to overturn Roe v. Wade and wanted to kill Justice Kavanaugh. Last month, the US Senate unanimously approved legislation that would provide Supreme Court members and their immediate relatives with security protection that is already granted to members of the federal government. Dubbed the Supreme Court Police Parity Act, the bill was crafted quickly after a draft opinion set to overturn Roe v. Wade was leaked and justices received an onslaught of threats of violence. Now in our next story, the White House on Wednesday voted nearly along party lines to bar the sale of semi-automatic weapons to people under the age of 21 and ban the sale of large-capacity magazines, acting as traumatized parent of victims and survivors of mass shootings made wrenching appeal for Congress to act on gun violence. The vote on sprawling gun package came 2 weeks and a day after a gunman massacred 19 children and 2 teachers at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Several hours earlier, parents of one of the children killed there and an 11-year-old who survived addressed a House committee to drive home the stakes of the issue. Though the bill passed 223 to 204, it stands no chance in the evenly divided Senate, where solid Republican opposition means it cannot draw the 60 votes needed to break through filibuster and move forward. Now in our next story, former President Donald Trump and 2 of his adult children have agreed to be questioned under oath in mid-July by lawyers from the New York State Attorney General's office unless the state's highest court intervenes. The agreement filed on Wednesday in the New York State Supreme Court says that Mr. Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump have agreed to appear for a testimony that will begin on Friday, July 15th and end in the following week. Their questioning will come as the State Attorney General Letitia James concludes the final phase of her investigation into Mr. Trump and the business practices of his company. The agreement follows a number of legal setbacks for the former president, whose lawyers had fought the Attorney General for months, hoping to avoid this questioning. Wednesday's agreement was filed 2 weeks after a state appeals court ruled to allow questioning. The court rejected arguments from Mr. Trump's lawyer that Ms. James' civil investigation was politically motivated and that she should be barred from questioning Mr. Trump under oath while he was also under criminal investigation for some of the business practices. Now in our final story on the Russian Ukrainian conflict, Russian forces have been able to resume the flow of water through a canal supplying the Crimean Peninsula, which had been dry since 2014, marking a significant achievement for Moscow. Ukraine had blocked the 250-mile-long canal after President Vladimir Putin of Russia annexed Crimea, diverting an important source of fresh water from the arid peninsula. That was all for the major news update for June 9th. Stay tuned for our next update on the ongoing world affairs. We hope that you find this video useful. If you like this video, hit like. And for a continued update on what's happening around the world, consider subscribing. And to never miss an update whenever we post something new, hit that bell icon. If you have any comments or any suggestions for us, please let us know in the comment sections below. Thank you.